trying to keep this video series more regular. So I'm gonna make a video today. I have a little bit of bedhead there on the left. I was just taking a nap. It's nice to take naps on the weekends. But just updates on how I've been doing since the last video. I think I had talked about locking the wheelchair, the outside wheelchair that we use, which has very, very tight brakes. And then last time, I was finally able to lock the left brakes, kind of consistently, like a couple weeks in a row. So last week when I was at church, I was able to lock both brakes, and I never ever locked both. I never locked either, like 2 months ago, but now I was able to lock the right one as well without, taking risks. Because when you're locking the brakes, you're leaning forward, and sometimes you're trying to use some body momentum and hoping that your arm will, hold and transfer that force to lock the brake. And I wasn't doing it in a, like, when I was at the very worst, even my home wheelchair, which is much easier to lock, there were times when I was trying to fling my body in a way that was kind of not safe, like I was at risk of falling out of the chair because I was leaning forward to try to get momentum to lock that brake. So that's not what I was doing. I was trying to lock it without throwing my body, more just trying to throw my arms maybe. And I managed to lock both. So that was, encouraging. In the car, there was a long period of time where I gave up on unlocking the seatbelts, and, doing things in the car was hard. And the first time I unlocked the seatbelt, it was probably a couple months ago, I was pushing down and I felt like my fingers were going to break because they were bending backwards. And finally, luckily I was pulling on the belt so that it was as straight as possible in the buckle, and it came out. And I was like, oh, I did it. Now I can unlock the seatbelt pretty easily. I've actually managed to open the door, which I couldn't do before. Like, I couldn't even reach the power locks because they're forward on the door rest or whatever, and getting my arm forward and up to reach them, I really couldn't do before. It would take me like minutes to do it. If we were in the car, I'd just yell at my son to come up to the front to do it for me. Like sometimes when Stacy's unloading, she gets out of the car and forgets to unlock all the doors. She only locks hers, and then she comes to my door to put me in the wheelchair, and she can't open it. And then I'm like, kid, well, I call him by his name, but come up and unlock the door because it's faster than me trying to do it. Well, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I managed to reach the locks like almost immediately. I was surprised. So the next time I even just opened the door. The handle to open the door is even farther forward than the power door lock. So, those are little things that have been encouraging, pretty fun. The biggest change, though, that kind of happened recently is this month I went to see the dentist for a cleaning. We do the cleanings every 6 months. And the previous 3 cleanings that I've done have been very scary, very stressful. At the end of the cleaning, I'd be like sweaty, like my back would be sweaty because of all the stress. And the stress was because with my throat being so weak, I wasn't really able to stop water from trickling into my airways or whatever else is, coming from the cleanings. And it's just very scary. Like I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna like choke every time there's any water back there because it's gonna drip into my lungs. And the hygienist has to keep using the suction a lot. One time I actually did choke and I started coughing, and that's freaking out the hygienist. It was just a very stressful, unlucky time. So this time, because I've been feeling better for the last 4 or 5 months, I was like, I hope that this appointment goes better. I've stopped coughing, and I had coughed for more than 3 years, right? And I've stopped coughing since, I don't know what it is, November or so. I just don't cough anymore. I don't cough out all the phlegm. I've stopped aspirating things for the most part. And when I do aspirate a little bit by accident from time to time, I just kind of focus and I'm able to cough it out without, a lot of, super long efforts of failing at it. It's just kind of like, oh, I can get this out if I just kind of focus, take a deeper breath, and just try to like cough it, harder. And it's been much better in that regard. So anyway, I worked with the hygienist, and I told her, I said, I feel like I've been getting better. I think this cleaning hopefully will go more smoothly. And so as we start, she's still trying to use the suction more frequently, just because she remembers how the previous ones were. But, after a few minutes, I'm like, I don't feel any problems at all. I don't feel like anything is going to drip in. I feel really comfortable. And, we finished the whole cleaning and I was like, it was like before. Like I wasn't stressed out. I don't. Then going for dental cleanings for me was always like not stressful because I don't think I've had cavities once. It doesn't hurt. I have pretty healthy teeth and I don't have, gum issues and stuff. So I've always had a non-stressful time at the dentist. And so this felt like normal. And the hygienist even told me that she thinks that I had less buildup than the previous time on my teeth, like plaque or tartar or whatever. And I mean, it has become easier to brush my teeth, so maybe I'm doing a better job of it. But that was all like really encouraging. So, these are things where I'm seeing improvements and stuff that's not just like, oh, it's a little bit better than recently. Like this is the best dental cleaning in 2 years. Even though I don't feel strong, I'm not be able to walk yet, but I mean that's really encouraging. And the one other thing has to do with rolling in bed. So for a while, this like until October, November, it had been like a few months where I couldn't really, if I was lying on my back in bed, I could not roll back onto my side. And lying on my back for a long time gets painful for my bum because the part of my bum that gets sore from sitting in the chair it still gets sore if I'm lying on my back. So I want to sleep a lot on my sides, but if I'm on my side, I can stay there, that's fine. But sometimes because my shoulders are not super strong or tight or whatever, they get sore if I lie on them too long. So I have to roll onto my back. But once I get on my back to relieve my shoulder, I can't get back onto my shoulder. I can't roll back onto my side because I couldn't do it. And so I'd have to like wake up Stacy like 2 or 3 times a night to say, can you, I'd give her my arm and she'd pull me. So I'd roll back onto that shoulder because, and then after a while it gets sore and I go on my back and then I wait for a while and then I, nudge her to roll me over again. And I don't know, a week, not a week, like maybe last month, I started, no, maybe 2 months ago, I started being able to roll. If I could get my top arm over onto the bed, then I could grab the sheet and kind of help pull as I tried to roll, and I could get back onto my side. So I got back to that level where I was able to get to my side, because at one point when I was lying on my back, I couldn't even get my top arm back over my body. Like I just couldn't. I would try to like hold my hands together like this and pull this hand to try to get it to that side. And I couldn't even do that. So at night it would be like I'd get my hands together like this, and then Stacy, I'd be like, Stacy, can you help me? And she would pull both of my hands to the side to pull them over, so that I had a side on that. My top arm was on that side of the bed like this, and then she could grab this arm and pull me to pull me over. So, a couple of months ago, I started being able to actually pull this top arm over to the other side, and then grab the sheet to try to help me roll onto my side. And the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I've now started where I can roll back to that side. I do have to get my arm over, but I think I might not have to get the arm over first. But anyway, I'm able to do it without having to grab the sheet more than half of the time. So this is where I'm rolling by just using my hips, my legs, and turning over onto my shoulder. Sometimes I still have to grab the sheet, and sometimes I'm just tired and I ask Stacy to pull me. But it's been, yeah, so those are some of the improvements. I'm hoping that continues. I think the next step will be trying to stand more. So we tried it in the lift last week with the harness. It didn't do so well. I got my left leg to support most of my weight, and Stacy still had to like hold me to keep me balanced. My right leg wouldn't cooperate at all. It's a little bit stiff and doesn't want to straighten very well. Like that knee is a little bit, I guess because it's bent all the time in the chair. So the last week I've been much more aggressive in stretching it, and it feels a lot better now. It feels less resistance to straightening. And so I'm thinking this next week we might try again and see if I can get to a point where I'm standing in the harness unassisted, and see how long I can balance that way. I don't expect to be that long. But yeah, that's where we're at. Still going strong with positive improvements, and I'm excited about that. So next time I'll have more updates on the photo software. I've made more progress, but nothing really demoable. Right now I'm working on facial recognition algorithms, or whatever, software smarts. So Stacy has been able to use the software though. And we are, yeah, I'm excited about it still. I've just been kind of busy lately. I think hockey playoffs also have caused some distractions, but hey, that's not a bad thing when the Canucks are doing well. So, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. And I'll be posting another video hopefully in like a month's time with more progress, I hope. Thanks for watching.